Hello, and welcome to my stream. We're going to be picking up in Satisfactory again. So as you can see, I have a to-do list. We are going to be making some biomass burner power plant. I want to collect at least 2 hard drives and then set up our copper and iron and copper production lines, at least the basics. But before we do the biomass burner plant, I've got some, I want to grab the obstacle clearing milestone.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel, created from any biomass, ensures maximum efficiency of biomass burners. To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw allows for the removal of tougher wood and coral foliage. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size. Inspirational note: will you be the Fix-It Employee of the Month?
No,
You could
Ada.
be if you construct, automate, explore and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated, fun.
Nope. Alright, I also have a bunch of biomass, or leaves and stuff for making biomass. We're going to go ahead and make some solid biofuel. Just going to go ahead and throw that back in there. Alright, what I think we will do is head over here. I think I'm going to set it up kind of on top of this rocky area. Maybe not. Well, there's a way up there. Alright. So we're going to use 4-meter foundations for most of our builds, for the foundations. So if you hover over something and you press a number, so if I press 9, it goes to that location in my hotbar. So I want to do logistics, and I want to put a splitter on 6, a lift on 5, then 7, 8, and 9 will fill out later. If you hold Alt and do your scroll wheel, you move up and down your hotbars. Typically on 2, I do piping for water and whatnot. We don't have that yet. 3, let's go ahead. We can do 1 as a smelter, 2 as a constructor. I'll go 0 as the miner. And you know what? Why don't we do 9 as a container? So really quick, let's go ahead, pick up these leaves. So if we hold control, that snaps it to what's called the world grid. Alright, there we go. Trying to get it down to 9. I don't want to go out 10. There we go. I'm going to go out 2 more there. Go out my 10. Go out my 10. And then go out 10 this way. Alright. I'm going to put that one there, and we're going to have a ramp that goes down. If we hold down E, that will change. We can select what we want. Right click on the mouse button will allow us to reopen the menu. Let's go ahead, zoop this down to the ground. I think that went all the way down. Perfect. Alright, so I want to start approximately here. I'm going to throw down a constructor. Then I'm going to put down 2 more constructors. So this one, we are going to select solid biofuel. From this one, we are going to select biomass wood. And I actually want to get this down to 60 per minute. This one we're going to do biomass leaves. It's already at 60 per minute. So from here, throw in a container. Those look like they're the same. Belts in. So in front of this one, we are going to actually select a merger. We're going to have the merger line up with this right here. We're going to switch to build mode straight and go to there. So we have biomass coming in from here, biomass coming in from here. Because biomass is biomass, it all can feed into this one. Now on this one, we're going to come up here, and I actually want to do a splitter. We're going to have it go there. Now I'm going to do power. I'm going to have a single biomass burner right there. This biomass burner will power this whole entire system. We're going to come in, we're going to drop a power line right here. Now after this, I actually want to have a storage unit. And from the storage unit, we are going to have a couple more biomass burners. And we gotta go get some more rods. Alright. So I got some leaves on me. And no, I know there's no fuel in there. So what we'll do is we will throw our leaves into this one. They'll come out, they'll enter here. Because there's no power, nothing's happening yet. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? Alright, and that is our basic biomass power plant done. Alright, so next on the objective is to collect at least 2 hard drives. So I see one way over there in the distance. So we're going to try and get to that one. And I believe there's one over there in that area. Alright, so that is what we call a fart, or what I call a fart rock. It just produces a poisonous gas that if you go into the field of the poisonous gas, you start taking damage. Probably blow those up at some point.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Alright, so we're going to start scanning the hard drive, see what alternate recipe we can get from it. I'm going to look around a little bit, see if there's any extra parts. And that is a big one. We don't want to mess with him. Last time I messed with one, I believe I died, so... Alright, here is a patch of sulfur.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state, and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate Fix-It helmets are of such high quality. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Alright, we're gonna have to go back. Better get all those leaves out of my inventory. I do want to pick up that Caterium. Alright, let's go drop off those leaves at the power plant so we can amass some biofuel. I haven't hooked up those generators to anything that requires power, so they're just going to be they'll show that they're burning fuel, but they're not. There's no consumption on them currently. Leaves go in there, and wood goes in there. So the way this is working is this is producing it. It's going to do one goes into there until this is full and backed up. One goes into here. It comes out. It's going to hit this splitter and it's going to go one. So one just went that way. So the next one will go straight. And then the next one will go to there. And then the next one goes there. This system is what's typically called a manifold. So this, it'll prioritize, splitting it 3 ways until this is full. Until these are full, then it will prioritize getting these ones full. There's another system called load balancing. And we'll talk about that one when I'm setting up the actual production lines. But let's go get this other hard drive. I expected that to happen. I am okay with it. I want to get my new production lines set up before I connect the new power. And I want to give those biomass burners time to build up fuel inside of them before I connect them. That's a weird graphical glitch. I'm really trying to get here is the wood. That will really help with getting our biomass built up. All right. Alright, this big guy right here, I believe the game calls him a space giraffe well thingy. He's been nicknamed Bean. They're non-hostile, as you can see. They are kind of a in-game nuisance, though. You'll be trying to build stuff and he'll just walk into your build. They take a lot to kill, but you can also just tap them. Like this one right here, he's stuck on that rock. And he'll be there for a while. Alright.
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
So when we scan a hard drive, we get two choices of recipes. So we have the 6 inventory slots or cast screws. Screws are a pain, so I'm going to go ahead and select the cast screws. I'm actually shooting for 2 different recipes, if we can. Okay, here is another nuisance. These flower things right here, they're similar to the gas pillars. We can only take them out with explosives. When they feel threatened, they rise up like that, and they will start putting out smoke. What can I get rid of for a few minutes? I don't need to have all those rotors. Okay. I'm going to mark that on the map so I know that I need to come back and collect it. But I do want the Mercer sphere, and I do want the hard drive that's here.
To file the scripture.
So the hard drive is right there. We need to have power to it. So next to that power slug, you see the plant thing right there. That's called a hive cluster or something to that effect. I need one more. If it ever says surface is too uneven, because that's half, third away off, you can hit H, and that will lock it into place and allow you to place it. Trying to delete everything that's over there. There we go. And now to delete all of this. Okay. Yep, there's a sumer sloop up there. Again, I don't have the room in the inventory for it. So these hive cluster thingies. If they don't hear you coming, they won't open up and release stuff. Something else is ticked off at me right now. Oh, I know what we can do to make room.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. It is unclear where on the flora or fauna spectrum it lies, but initial data suggests this might be a nest or an egg. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
I'm just gonna go back to this chest and unload some stuff. Alright, that is 2 hard drives collected. Okay, I'll come back and get that later. Right, so that rock right there, that can only be taken out with explosives. You'll see those where power slugs are at or over resource nodes. I don't think this will be my permanent base, or I'll probably end up making a bunch of little factories across the world and then bring the stuff to a central location. Now I want to be able to continue to expand this out farther as I need to. So for example, I may want to add, sets of 2 biomass burners, so we'll continue to expand out. So as far as where our main production lines are going to go, I'll probably set them up on this other side. I kind of want this above where Bean can get to if one of them happens to wander over this way. It just kind of bugs me when he walks all over my factory, or when they do. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to ugly belt the ores from those 2 nodes over to here to set up our production chains. So for the copper, I believe that is a normal node. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take that out. I'll need to move that manually to wherever I want to end the node. Same thing here with this iron. I have a lot of plates in there, so I have almost 3,000 plates. One moment. Don't just hate it when you get that tickle in your nose like you're gonna sneeze. I'm going to leave concrete the way it is for the time being. I'll just run power out to it. Alright, our MAM research is done. So we can pick up some iron wire or some fine concrete. Or we can rescan the hard drive, so we can only rescan it once. I don't necessarily need to have iron wire right now, or the fine concrete. I also I don't have the machine to produce that in. That's the assembler, which we get in this milestone right here, which the assembler will need to make smart plating, rotors, modular frames, and reinforced iron plates. I don't think I have enough screws to make that right now. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead, deconstruct these. I'm not going to deconstruct my hub yet, but I will move it later on. We'll redo our smelters and our miners here. I'm probably going to redo that one. Because I want it to be fairly straight. Okay, since this is a pure, we're going to get 120 per minute from it when it's fully. For the time being, we're just going to take it down to 60 per minute. I'm actually going to throw that back into there and turn it off. I think what I'll do is I will smelt the ingots at the node and then take the bars, the finished bars, out. Okay. So when I think about how I want to lay out my nodes, I typically want to think about the machines I'm going to be putting down. So smelter wise, in the long run I'm going to want to have 4 of these here. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this out for 4 of them in a manifold style. These last 2 I'm not actually going to hook up at this time. We'll do that when I get better belts. But I'm going to plan on them having power. So here, we're going to want to start having our merger. I need blade runners so bad. And then from here, we'll run the belts over there. Height-wise, this worked out almost perfectly. And we're a little bit off. Not enough that I would want to use a lift. I don't think. Yeah, that lift is going to be too high. So we'll just raise the belt up. So one of my general rules of thumb when doing belt work is to remove the feet. Just because later on we'll come in and we'll want to delete the feet, or we'll tear down this factory or make some change. And we're not going to want those feet there. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1 meter right there so I can get up and get up. Alright. So we're going to have 60 currently coming in here to this one, so we're going to want to split it. If we split 3 ways, that's 20 that way, 20 that way, 20 that way. I think we want to go 30 and 30, so I'm only going to split it 2 ways. This is, excuse me, load balancing. So I want 30 going this way. To make iron plate, we need 30 per minute. And we want 20, and we'll get 20 out. For this, we are ending the line here. So, and what I will do is I will move that container into there in a little bit. Alright. So next we want to do rods. We need 15 per minute. So we're going to go ahead and split this one again. And again. Oh. That is an end. Okay. So that gives us another 15 to work with. So what I'm probably going to do for the time being is take this and we're going to do cast screws. Now cast screws only need 12.5 per minute. There's just no good way to divide for screws. Doesn't matter which recipe you use. It just doesn't divide well. Alright. quite where I wanted it. Okay, that one's done. Oh, it did. Alright. Alright, let's work on copper. We're gonna have a similar production chain. I think what I'll do is I'll run them out that way. This can only give me 60 per minute. Alright, let's get back up here. Okay, this one, since we're only going to be able to get 60 per minute, we're just going to have 2 smelters. This time I'm going to run it down the middle. This time we're at a good height. Alright, so we're going to have 60 coming in. Let me check the recipe here for wire. 15 per minute, so we got to split that 4 ways. Just need that so I can get up top of it. Okay. And then from this one, we will run power down to there. So now all we need to do to get all of our machine... Oh wait, we are not done yet. So I'm going to take both these. I'm going to actually merge them. Okay, this becomes my wire. And we gotta take this wire and turn this into cable. So again, we are going to merge. This takes 60 per minute. These make... Be helpful if I actually set them. So they take 15 and they put out 30. Alright, there we go. So that's why we got to remerge these two into that one. Now we're good to connect power. What I'll probably do is... Now we can do it that way. Oh, that'd be why. There we go. Alright, so we can have a capacity of 120. Our max consumption is 66.4, but our current consume is 23.5. And that's because not all our machines have kicked on yet. As you can see, we're starting to get some copper floating up and some of the iron. And then once all that filters up this way, then all of our machines will start kicking on. Then we have all of this bigger area to expand our production, especially with iron. And of course we can also go up higher as needed. Now in the long run, I only want to produce what screws I absolutely have to. Screws are not used in the construction of any building except for one. And that building is the awesome shop. And typically I only build one of those in my world anyways. Alright. Oh, I took down my MAM. So while we wait for those to get going, let's do some MAM research. Let's go ahead and do sulfur.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
Alright, so we need to find some coal, which we know there's some nodes north of where I built the power plant, and collect a little bit more sulfur. And then we can start looking at the Nobelisk. That's the explosive that will take out the pillars and those breakable rocks. This also gives another hand slot, but we can't do this unless we find some steel pipes or we're able to do steel production. So finding more sulfur isn't as big of a deal. Okay.
Research completed. Quartz crystal recipe unlocked. New quartz research available. Research completed. Silica recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
Okay, now we can get silica. The blade runners make us run faster, we take less fall damage, and we can jump a lot higher, to the point where I can jump on top of the splitters without having to jump on the belts first. Okay, let's go look at Caterium.
Research completed. Caterium ingot recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
So we're going to want to do Caterium. Again, we have the zip line, which is pretty cool. Further down, we have other stuff that we just can't see yet, such as the smart splitter. I still need to do that. Let's see. I got one of those.
The remains researched belong to a plant-like organism hosting the larva of the flying crab, the most mature of which hatch when threatened. Hatcher remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving pioneer safety during exploration.
Alright. Just to get this done and out of the way. That's all I wanted to do.
The remains researched belong to an organism with 8 jointed legs, similar to the legs of arachnids but with non-standard distribution and function. Because its attacks focus on stabbing prey with the ends of their legs, which resemble insectoid stingers, they have been dubbed stingers. Stinger remains can now be made into alien protein, and additional research may reveal options for improving Pioneer safety during exploration.
Alright, so I want to go ahead and unlock the rebarb gun. Ooh, I'm going to have to make some screws. Now we'll just run over and collect some. Alright. Alright. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. It's my lift. There we go. So slowly over time, the iron line is going to back up just a little bit because we're not consuming enough for these iron screws. I would need to figure out how best to split that 15 between two machines to get up to the correct consumption, which I just don't want to do that right now. Okay. That's right, that's what I was working on. Okay.
Research to develop the rebar gun is now available. When completed, you will be in possession of a tool effective against any local obstacles actively objecting to the Fix-It mission. Rebar gun and iron rebar ammo unlocked. Your ingenuity towards preservation of Fix-It property has been noted. You earned a micro break. And welcome back. I hope you feel refreshed.
Okay.
Research completed. The protein inhaler can restore health in the eventuality that you have been carelessly damaging Fix-It property.
So the inhaler is a full heal. We just need 1,000 cable, which I don't have the stuff for. Well, I do technically. Maybe we'll see what's wrong with my cable machine. Alright. Oh, I didn't connect power to it. That's what's wrong with it. So I'm going to go ahead and move the hub. But what I'm going to do is, because I have more stuff than I can handle, instead of having the dismantle crate appear back there, I'm going to dismantle it from all the way over here. So there, I created my dismantle crate there. So I'm going to go ahead and rebuild it. There. Because what I want to do also is build my equipment workshop right there. So I come in here, do what I gotta do, come over here, equipment workshop. Okay, what do I need for rebarb gun? I need 100 screws. I got everything else. Oh wait, my inventory is full. Okay. Oh, I do have pipes. Okay. And then I want to build the MAM. Right there. Okay. Is there any other research we can do here? We could do that one if I had more cable. Just gotta wait for time or manually craft it. How much Caterium do I have? Not enough. We could start doing part assembly. Again, I kind of want to wait till I get more cable built up. Ultimately, I guess it doesn't matter. Quartz. All right.
Blade Runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
That would be very helpful. I'm not a big fan of the shatter rebarb. Alright. Let's go get some screws and go see how much cable we still have.
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce more complex parts, including the first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note: humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
Gee, thanks, Ada. Almost. No, let's take the Caterium with us. I need to get more screws. Alright. There we go. So, I personally like the rebarb gun over the Xeno Zapper and the... I forget what it's called, because the next melee weapon you get, because I can do ranged, makes taking out hogs a lot more easy. Don't have to run up and smack them. Okay, there we go. So I am going to swap out the zapper for the rebarb gun. Alright, let's go looking for Caterium. Judging from the looks of that, that's way up there. I think this one is the one we're going to have to go after. In the meantime, we'll just let our machines run. We should be good on power. We are... trying to think of what's not running. Oh, I know what's not running. Some smelters that are connected. Those two smelters aren't running right now. So if you look down in this area, I've been spending a lot of time gathering up the leaves. Down in that area, we could probably come in and start cutting down the trees with our chainsaw. I'm honestly not a super big fan of cutting down stuff unnecessarily. But if we run out of ore before we're ready, so that's the way I take out most hogs. And that will also allow me to take out the hogs that are just bigger. I think they're called alpha hogs, but not the hogs that shoot rocks at you. Okay, that's limestone. I gotta keep my eyes peeled for sulfur and caterium. I know there were some small caterium nodes over there, but I want to go after a caterium vein. I think it's up that cliff right here. Definitely gonna have to get some nobelisks and come after all these power slugs. Oh, great, it's the big one. Alright, well those are doing their thing. Go looking around the area. Alright, that right there is uranium. If we get too close to it, we'll start taking radiation. See? So, again, in one of the research trees, I forget which one it is, we will research a way for us to be able to collect it, or get a suit that will protect us from it. Or maybe it's just part of the milestones. I think it's part of the milestones. There's a Mercer sphere up there. We're not going to go after it right now. Deuterium, like limestone, is a 3-to-1 ratio. So that isn't the greatest, but it, it works. How far away this deuterium is from our main base, I probably wouldn't try to ugly belt it to the main base.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
I wouldn't necessarily ugly belt the Caterium across, but I'm going to have to bring power here if I'm going to utilize this node at any point. What I could do is set up a tractor or a truck or even a train to pick it up and bring it to where I want to use it at. Okay.
Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fixit recommends not using ziplines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee. New Caterium research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fixit initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
Alright, so we want to get to the AI limiter so we can get down into the smart splitter. In the meantime, what do we need for that zip line? A Xeno Zapper. Alright. Okay, this gives us 60 per minute. Let's look at the smelter recipe here. It needs 45 per minute to get 3, or to make. So we're just going to underclock this to 45 per minute. There is 0 point and setting up a merger. So this is going to output 15. And we need 12. Okay. I'm actually going to do is downplay this to be 12 per minute. So we need 36. 36. Okay. Then we can technically run power from somewhere else. Well, you know, run it across there up to the base. But just to get things going here. No, I don't have any good biomass. Alright, we'll do it that way. When we get our zip line made, we will be able to zip line up and down this to get up to this spot. Oh, took it out too far. Type of copper node is this? Impure, so that gives us 30 per minute. It's not what I want, where I wanted it. There we go, now that should be up and running. Okay, I gotta check out what milestones we're waiting on. Logistics 2. How many of those do I have on me? I have 30. Alright, at this point, we should have the assembler. So, I need 1.5 constructors of iron plate and 60 screws per minute to get 5. We're also going to need to make rotors. We need iron wires or iron rods. Again, that's a machine and a quarter, no, a third, because they make 15. And then we need 2 machines of screws. Okay. Modular frames. We need 3 reinforced plate and rods. And smart plating. We need 2 and 2. That's 5. That's 4. So what I'll do is I will plan out a factory. I'll be honest, this whole entire iron section may be torn down. Let's go stitched iron plate. So that right there is less than 1. We need 37.5 iron wire. That's a better recipe than our current one. So we will probably divert part of our wire that we're making towards going into the iron plate. One other thing we need to set up next time is copper sheets. So I'll need to figure that out as well, because we're definitely going to want to have a buildup of copper sheets for the next episode, or for a future episode when we're doing alright, not enough. That away, put that away. Oh, we got some leaves and stuff. Probably what I will do at some point between now and the next time I stream will be to go out and again just gather more leaves and stuff. We gotta definitely build up our reserves of the solid biofuel until we can get coal power, which won't be until after we built the space elevator. Actually, let's put that. So we want to build a space elevator. So we're going to need to collect all those resources. I actually already have them. It's just knowing where we want to build it. You know, we could build it over here. We could expand this platform out, build it over there, or build it over that way. just to give you an idea about how big it is. That is a huge building. We're going to be making parts and putting them inside of it so we can send it up into a platform. So first I got to figure out where I want to build it at. Do I want to build the platform even higher or taller? Make it be up higher than where at my current production lines? We'll see. One of the other things we gotta do is finish out collecting these. I'm not too, like, jump pads will be the last thing I do for this tier. The awesome shop is, actually let's do the awesome shop right now.
Milestone reached. You have been given access to the anti-waste effort for stress testing of materials on Exoplanet's bonus program, also known as Awesome. Your awesome input allows Fixit to comprehend our amazing universe more clearly. In appreciation of this, we have generously set up an internal, closed economy with exclusive rewards and currency. Directing parts of varying quantity and complexity into the Awesome Resource Sink will grant Fixit coupons. These coupons can be redeemed in the Awesome Shop for highly desirable items such as new foundations, walls, factory attachments, cosmetics, parts, and more. Next time you have additional resources, just remember to go that extra kilometer. Go awesome.
So there's the store. There's the sink. When you belt stuff into there, that closes and it crushes it. So all that hard work of automating this stuff gets thrown into the garbage. But you generate tickets, which the tickets you are then used to buy stuff in here. So for example, we have management, we have conveyor wall holes, we have conveyor lift floor holes. Those are very useful. We have wall-mounted outlets. We can get some signs. These are very basic small signs. Lights. We have different paint themes. I actually really like these, like, painting stuff making copper with a copper finish is pretty cool. I like to do a chrome finish for steel. Caterium. If it's a Caterium machine, they have different types of foundations. Actually, back into the customizer, we have different types of foundation material. Instead of these metal grading things, we could get concrete. I actually prefer the concrete foundations over the other foundations. Then you have the asphalt. That's good for making roads. We got things we can paint, to give us direction, you know, if you're setting up a road system, different types of foundations, different types of walls. And then the architecture is just for things that look cool. Personal elevators, pretty handy. Instead of having that ugly ramp or using catwalk stairs to get up, we would just have an elevator. Then we can have roofs if we wanted to build buildings, which I think we will later on. And of course, then you can have a coffee cup in your hand if you so desire. And then there's also parts that you can just purchase with tickets if you want to spend your tickets on it. I would prefer to spend my tickets on different management and customization. I don't ever really look at the equipment or parts all that much. But that'll be it for this live stream. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.